into this record, and that's how also listening to a lot of electronica at the moment, the Goldfrapp and the Ladytron and underground artists like La Tigre came about. I recorded all of the music from home. I had all of the amazing artists that supplied their talents to this record come to the Red Lips Room, which I had named my studio, taken over from Ozzy Osbourne, which used to be the whole Osbourne house that they filmed the show in and everything. But he had an incredible studio set up in the back that I knew was a big selling point for me. I can just throw on my flip-flops and my sweatpants and go back there and create, which is fantastic. This album is different. I think it's obvious when you see the cover, the fact that it really goes in a more futuristic direction. When you listen to the music, it's hard to pick. You'll see with all the single releases, everything has a different flavor and a different feel. You can't sort of define the album within one song. It's very versatile, and it goes through its whole journey of a storyline and fun moments and vulnerable moments. And much like my Stripped record, it reminds me of, emotionally a lot of the places that I go, but in a very, recovered and peaceful, fun place, being inspired to play more, too, from my son, being more in touch and comfortable with my initial pop roots from 10 years ago, Genie in a Bottle days, to sort of tap into that, but in a much more sophisticated and mature manner. I've sort of taken elements of each and every previous record, and put it all into BIONIC, coming full circle, and, the thread through the artwork and everything for BIONIC is very strong and graphic, experimenting with a lot of strong blacks and metals and stones and whites and reds accents. Not Myself Tonight came about at the very end for me of filming the movie, Burlesque, which I was actually finished with my record, and I had to put it on hold to go film the movie for about 6 months, which was, musically, creatively, very difficult for me to do as an artist, and then become this other person for 6 months. So that was difficult for me at that time. And I had changed and grown and learned so much during the movie that by the time I was about a month into rapping, I reached out to producers and the label and said, send me tracks, send me songs. I have new stories to tell. I want to write. I'm interested in possibly getting back in the studio and seeing what transpires, just because I'm freshly inspired and I have new things to say, and feeling a little not myself over the past 6 months, because I literally had to be someone else. I was ready to sort of break out of my skin and my cage and rebel a little bit against having to be a certain way per se. So almost in a way it tapped into referencing my dirty days in a way, but much more sophisticated and in a mature manner. Strong, sexy, fun, playful.
Is there a specific song on the record that holds special meaning to you?
All the records are coinciding with particular moods that I have at different times of the day and week and month. But I would say, and I always say this, the heart of the record, the true, vulnerable, raw side of me is seen on the Sia and Sam Dixon records. I wrote a song that sort of has a lullaby feel to it for my son. Very beautiful, simple, simply produced piano ballad called All I Need, with these beautiful strings that were attached to it. 3 other songs that I wrote with her really spoke true and honestly and from the heart, so that's why I call it the heart of the record. But nothing really electronically driven was put onto these records. It's really raw and organic and sweet and simple and beautiful. I mean, Sia and Sam were genius. I'm super, super excited to get back on the road again and go see all of my fans up close and personal, touring the world, getting newly inspired for whatever the next look and feeling and creation will come about and become in the middle of touring. But so excited to promote BIONIC and explore that whole world, because it will be an entirely different monster out on tour, and a totally different side of myself that's never been seen before, using a lot of special effects and electronic things, elements. So it's very exciting for me to explore the whole bionic elements and world. World tour starting in July, starts in the US, then we go to Europe, and then wrapping up in Asia, Australia territories. Fans are amazing everywhere. Everyone has their own style for sure, and way of reacting, but the loudest probably that it gets sometimes on tour. I don't know, Dublin's pretty great as far as volume and really getting into it. They were amazing. Australia has some hardcore amazing fans. The UK has some pretty great energy whenever I get on stage there. But, I mean, the list is endless. I mean, Germany, everywhere has amazing energy. It's very different, and it's interesting to tap into what that means to me as I perform as an artist. So they're all fun everywhere. Bring something new to the table.